We got some massive news for Nvidia stock investors as the company and OpenAI announced a plan to invest up to $100 billion from Nvidia to OpenAI. I'm going to talk about the details of that announcement and what it could mean for Nvidia stock investors.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So Nvidia stock is up over 3.5% today on the back of this announcement where it plans to invest up to $100 billion in startup OpenAI under a new agreement the company's announced on Monday. The letter of intent is for a landmark strategic partnership to deploy at least 10 gigawatts of Nvidia chips for OpenAI's infrastructure. And this is a great deal for Nvidia on the surface of it. Nvidia is investing in equity into OpenAI, and the money that OpenAI is getting, it's going to invest a large percentage of that into chips from Nvidia. So Nvidia is making an equity investment where that money is going to go towards purchasing computing, which it provides. So it's going to get back a lot of that money through revenue and profits, but it's making that investment in equity. So they aim to finalize the partnership details in the coming weeks, with the first deployment phase targeted to come online in the second half of 2026. So it's a quick turnaround. The second half of 2026 is about a year away, and the orders for that second half of 2026 will likely come in the first quarter of 2026 because it takes time to produce those chips and get them ready for deployment. So Nvidia is likely to get back a lot of that money that they're investing in, if I'm understanding the details of this deal correctly. And there will be more details coming out in the coming days, and I'll know more and I'll be able to evaluate this deal further. This is also great news for more companies in this AI supply chain, including Oracle and Microsoft. Remember, OpenAI has multi-billion dollar, hundred of billions of dollars in deals with Oracle, with Microsoft, and with many other companies in the AI supply chain. And one of the big risks for those other companies like Oracle, if you've seen, Oracle is one of the stocks I had rated as a buy all year long, and I'm happy to see it soaring, and it's up 5% today on the back of this news because it's great news for Oracle. Oracle reported that it had $500 billion, or it will have over $500 billion in orders to deploy a lot of its services, and a lot of that is going to OpenAI. But the big question mark was, will OpenAI even have the money to pay companies like Oracle and Microsoft and Nvidia in future years for the contracts it's signed? It's already committed to spending hundreds of billions of dollars when the company itself is losing tens of billions of dollars. It's investing in developing the technology, and it's generating revenue, sure, but it's not generating anywhere near the revenue it needs to be self-sustaining. It's still in heavy negative in terms of free cash flow. And so investors in these other companies that are looking to benefit from the growth of OpenAI, we're starting to fear the fact that maybe OpenAI doesn't have the money to spend in 2027 and 2028. Where is that money going to come from if it keeps losing money? Will Microsoft and its other investors continue pouring money into this money-losing business? And we got our answer here with this potential $100 billion investment from Nvidia. It's a sign that, yes, investors will continue investing in the development of OpenAI because they see such a lucrative potential for this business. So the next question becomes, does Nvidia have the money to spend $100 billion in equity investment in OpenAI? And the answer is yes. Or if it doesn't have it yet, it will have it. In 2025, fiscal year, the company generated $65 billion. In fiscal year 2026, it's forecast to generate $101 billion in free cash flow. In 2027, it's forecast to generate $132 billion in free cash flow. In 2028, it's forecast to generate $153 billion in free cash flow. By 2030, it's expected to generate over $200 billion in free cash flow. So what Nvidia needed is somewhere to invest that capital, because Nvidia is generating way more capital than it needs. And so you've heard it make several announcements. Previous to this one, it announced the $5 billion investment in Intel and now a $100 billion investment here. And one of the bigger challenges now for Nvidia becomes, what will it do with all this cash flow that it's generating? Will it increase the dividend? Will it continue buying back shares at ridiculous billions of dollars every quarter? Or will it find categories to reinvest or categories to invest in other areas, like this strategic investment in OpenAI, which further solidifies Nvidia's competitive advantage? Because in this deal, I wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia tells OpenAI, we'll make this $100 billion investment if you agree to purchase this much of our GPUs or networking equipment and all of this other stuff from us. We don't want to give you $100 billion that you then go and spend on AMD GPUs or GPUs and products from our competitors or anyone else, right? If we're going to give you this much money, we would like for you to spend that money with us. So that secures our competitive advantage in this category, secures our position, and establishes your business based on a foundation of our GPUs and our products, so that, 5 years, even after these sales are made, 5 years later or 7 years later, when you need to upgrade and replace your technology, it's based on our technology. So you need to come back to us 5 years later or 7 years later for the replacement of these tech products also. So this solidifies NVIDIA's position, and it gives them an equity investment in one of the fastest growing, most innovative companies in the world. So as an NVIDIA shareholder myself, I do own NVIDIA stock. I'm happy about this announcement. Of course, the devil's in the details. I want to see the details as they are released. What are the provisions? Are there any requirements? Are there any stipulations in this agreement? And if there are, I expect it will benefit NVIDIA as the company with the stronger negotiating power in this relationship with the technology that NVIDIA provides and the cash flow that NVIDIA generates and the position that OpenAI finds itself in with all of its negative cash flow and its commitments it's made to future spending. I expect NVIDIA will be getting a good deal in this strategic partnership. I'm excited to see the details coming out, but massive news to be sure for not just NVIDIA stock investors, but all AI stock investors. Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.